Welcome everyone to this reading part 2, Applying a Diagram Analysis. Now, before we get started, I do want to let you know that reading part 2, it's more for lower levels, level 5 to 6, I would say, or 5 to 7. That's because the complexity of the text is not as difficult as part 3 or 4, okay? And also, higher levels, 7 or higher, we should be able to get everything correct here. Okay, it's not so difficult. Now for 5, 6, we need to focus on this part. We need to have higher comprehension of this part, and we need to get more correct answers in this part to make sure that we get 5 or 6, okay? So, also we have this great reading part 2 tips and strategies video. If you would want to get more details about how to read effectively, what information to gather, how to understand the questions, and just some more strategies about how to do part 2, then you can watch that video. And you can find that video in our part 2, reading part 2 playlist. And I will leave a link in the description box for that video, okay? So let's get started with today's analysis. Just here in the CELPIP library, part 2. And we're going to do a sample from volume 1 called Medicine Information Guide. Also, everyone, we're going to be doing this analysis together. So I'm going to be reading. I'm going to be providing you some details of the information that I collect. And I'm going to be analyzing. I'm going to be giving you some vocabulary explanations if they are required. And I will be explaining the answers, but I will be giving you a chance to answer yourself first. Okay? That way we can work through it together. Okay, so here we have our image on the left and our questions on the right. And I'm just going to zoom in so we can read better. Okay? We should even try to read the email information. Subject, Medicine Information Guide to Janice from Mark Campbell. Okay. So let's see. Good afternoon, Janice Stefano. Here is the information that you requested regarding your diabetic medicine, which you recently received. So she received some new diabetic medicine, okay? And she requested some information about it. The guide explains what the different labels one mean. So when we do part 2, we have to make sure that we understand exactly each sentence where there is a question. So here's one. So the guide explained what the different labels, okay, we have labels here, mean. Okay. What the different labels mean. So let's look at our options, which will explain how to use the medication, which tell you what to buy, which indicate a warning about each medication, which provide more information about what to take. So it says here the guide explains what the different labels mean. So we see here drowsiness, drug dependency, talk to your pharmacist, not recommended this. Okay, so which one is it? I can tell you that it's not which tell you what to buy. I don't think any of these tell us what to buy. Seems to tell us what to do. More information about what to take. Well, I can tell you about not about what to take. It doesn't tell us what to take. It says may cause, may cause. Talk to your pharmacist. Okay, may be hazardous, not recommended, contains aspirin. So not what to take, and also not how to use, because it seems to be telling us or giving us a warning. Indicates means show. A warning. Like do this. This may happen. Okay? And okay, so this guide explains what the different labels which give us a warning about it mean, okay? All right. In your case, so in your, because in it's you, please notice that if the indicator is yellow, so yellow over here, you should certainly avoid, try not to do, since you'll be drowsy. Drowsy. Well, the yellow one, let's read what the yellow one says here. Drowsiness. Okay, drowsy. May cause drowsiness or impair alertness. So drowsiness just means like tired or you may be sleepy. Avoid alcohol and drugs with sedative and or relaxing effect, especially before driving a motor vehicle. So when you're drowsy, you're kind of sleepy. Okay? So avoid, not do this because you'll be drowsy. It's what it's trying to tell us. Any kind of commuting to work. Commuting means traveling. Any type of relaxing activity. Being more careful when you drink. Taking a relaxing type of medication. So you should certainly avoid. I can tell you it's not C. Avoid being more careful because actually it tells us avoid anything you drink. Avoid alcohol. It says avoid alcohol. But avoid being careful? No, we need to avoid alcohol. So not C. Now, I also think it's not taking a relaxing type of medication. Now we have relaxing. Many times students will choose, lower level students will choose answers only because they see the word. Here they see relaxing, here is relaxing, but we need to understand what it says. And over here, this one here, it actually says avoid drugs with relaxing effect, especially before driving a motor vehicle. Okay. So avoid taking a relaxing type of medication. It's not relaxing type of medication. It says here just effect, okay? So effect, okay? And medication is not the kind, as here's just saying any kind of sedative, which is not really a medication, okay? Also, it's not B, because it doesn't say anything about relaxing activities. So the answer here should be A. So avoid any kind of commuting. So traveling to work or driving to work. Why? Because it says here, especially before driving, because this will cause drowsiness. Okay. All right. Okay. What about the next one here? Okay, let's see. You should ask for more information. 3. They'll be able to guide you more. You should ask for more information. When you have an H label, when you get a label X, when you have a B label, when you get a label D. So H, X, H, drug dependency. Dependency may cause a drug habit, so you will depend on it, can develop that. X, talk to your pharmacist. B, contraindication. Okay. This means may be hazardous to your health if you suffer from hypertension. E, diabetes. Or D, intolerance, contains aspirin, must be avoided if you suffer from gout, stomach ulcers. So the connection here is says ask for more information or they'll be able to guide you more. Which one suggests ask? Right. Should be X. Talk to your pharmacist. Talk to your pharmacist. They'll be able to guide you, okay? So what about 4? Also, make sure to 4 if you've got a red label. So red labels over here, particularly if you're not used to taking any type of medication. Okay. So let's read about 4. Drug dependency may cause a drug habit, must not be taken over a prolonged period. Over a long period, you should not take it over a long period. Drug dependency, you can become addicted. That can happen with medication. Okay, or dependent on it. Okay. So make sure to 4 if you've got a red label. Take more than you should. Avoid a long product. Take a product for a longer period. Avoid continuous intake of a product. Well, I can tell you it's not B, right? Because avoid a long product, not about a long product. It said don't take it for a long time. Also, make sure to take more than you should. Take more than you should. No, we shouldn't take more, is what it's trying to tell us. So C or D. Make sure to take a product for a longer period or make sure to avoid continuous intake of a product. D. So again, it's trying to tell us here, make sure to, if you've got, so must not be taken over a longer, prolonged period. So make sure to avoid taking this product for a long time. That's what avoid continuous intake. Intake means consuming, taking. But C says make sure to take a product for a long, no, we don't want to take it for a longer time. Let's look at 5. Finally, make sure that you've got other types of indigestion medications handy. Make sure they're handy, available for a blue label due to, because of the ill effects or negative effects of this 5. So make sure it says here that you've got some other type of indigestion medication available, because if you have a blue label, let's read about the blue label. Intolerance contains aspirin, must be avoided if you suffer from gout, stomach ulcers, asthma, or if you are taking an anticoagulant agent, blood thinner. So this means that you should, well, according to what we're reading, this, if you have a blue label, it has negative effects or side effects, negative for medication, side effects of this 5. Medicine on food eating, medication on digestion, digestive food, digestion warnings. So make sure to have other types of medications handy due to, because of the ill effects of this. Well, it's not digestive food. The negative effects of this digestive food, it's about medication, right? It's also not digestion warnings, okay? Because of the negative effects of this digestion warnings, no, not digestive food and not digestion warnings. So, medicine on the food eaten or medication on digestion. So, the negative effects of medic of this medication on digestion. So, basically, what it's telling us here is that if you have a blue label, this medication can have or can be bad on digestion. Okay? That's what it's telling us here. So, for a blue label, due to the negative effects of this medication on digestion. All right? Okay, and at the bottom, I think this information sheet will enable you to better understand some of those confusing labels. At the same time, it will guide you better with what you should be certain about with this new type of medication, of diabetic medication. Hope this was able to help you, Dr. Campbell. So it looks like Dr. Campbell wrote Janice about her new medication, which may have some labels or give you warnings about these things. Okay, new type of diabetic medication. So let's look at questions 6 to 8. Janice has been taking this medication for a long time, hasn't had any information about medication, has just started to take new medication, doesn't have anyone helping her at the moment. Very interesting. So according to the email, what is the answer here? Well, I can tell you that it's not A because we just read that it's a new diabetic medication she's taking, so it's not A because not for a long time. Also, it's not It's also not B because she does have information about medication. She has these labels here. She has this information. She just doesn't understand them very well. So C or D? Looks like the answer is C, has just started to take new medication. She just started to take the new diabetic medication. Okay? And number 7, Dr. Campbell is probably a knowing physician to Janice, is a pharmacist with knowledge, is a regular doctor who helps people, is Janice's medical friend. Well, I can tell you it is a doctor, right? So Dr. Campbell, so not a pharmacist. Pharmacists may not be doctors. Now, I wouldn't say it's Janice's medical friend because he says Dr. Campbell, and it just according to the email, there's nothing here which says friend. Here's the information that you requested regarding your diabetic medicine, which you recently received. Okay. Doesn't sound like they're friends and seems to me like doctor, so not friend. So, is a regular doctor who helps people or is probably a knowing physician to Janice? So the answer is A. Now, physician is the same as doctor. A physician, doctor. So Janice probably goes to this doctor, okay, and that's her regular physician. So not just not just a regular person who helps people, okay. And number 8, the information provides Janice with what? The ability to choose which medication she has to take. A way to determine what to do when the medication is taken. The exact information about the medication she has, when to start to take the medication and when to stop. Okay, so what do you think is the answer? Well, I can tell you that it's not D, when to start and stop taking the medication. None of these labels, right? We're talking about these labels here. None of these labels say that. So it's not D. And also, we can say that it's not A, choose which medication she has to take. So these labels are not about medication, they're about warnings about the medications, okay? So B or C? So looks like the answer is B. Now, it's not C because it's not the exact information about the medication. It's not telling us the exact information. Now, a way to determine or to find out or to understand or discover, determine what to do when the medication is taken. So these are labels, warning labels that tell you when you take this medication, if you have some kind of labels on your medication, then be careful with this, okay? So she can discover what to do if she has a red label or B or green or E or purple, okay? All right, everyone. Okay, very good. Now, were you able to get 8 from 8? Well, if you didn't get 8 from 8, don't worry. We need to practice. We need to practice some more. We need to practice the vocabulary. Now, I hope it was clear from this analysis how we should be processing information and how we should be understanding what we're reading. Sentence by sentence is very important for part 2. Also, everyone, understanding why the answers are the answers and why the other answers are not the answers. This is very important also for all the readings and listenings. Okay, everyone? For that matter, I'm going to be leaving in the description box, I'm going to be leaving a link to practice and review what we just did, but version 2. So same diagram, same email, but different questions, okay, everyone? Different questions to help you build your comprehension. Very good practice for you. Okay, so you can find that link in the description box. Also, do you need more practice for part 2? Well, our CELPIP library has nearly 60 exams with version 2s of part 2, everyone. Current and past CELPIP exams and CELPIP examples, okay? And we will be adding more this month. So I strongly recommend purchasing a library pass. And you can find a link to purchase a library pass at the bottom of the sample practice, okay? And look at this, with discount code CELPIP79, you can get a 3-month subscription. 3 months will be more than enough time to practice all the material. And for $10.99, wow. And that's to the library pass, everyone. For all the listenings, readings, all the parts, writing and speaking, not only reading. So it's a steal of a deal, everyone. Let's not forget, practice makes perfect.